everybody, welcome to RPM, Rock and Pop Mandolin, your site, your destination for learning classic rock and pop songs on this wonderful little 8-stringed instrument. My name is Mike DeJong, and yes, we have yet another Christmas pop classic. This one, a traditional song or an old jazzy tune that was made famous, I think, by Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band back in the mid-70s. They did a really great live version of this song with Clarence Clemons on the saxophone playing an amazing solo. I love that version of the song, so I'm going to do a breakdown for you right here on RPM, including a mandolin version of that Clarence Clemons solo on the saxophone. I'll break that down for you here. But first, before we get into that, a little bit of business. If you're new here, thanks very much for checking us out. But don't forget to hit that little red subscriber button down there in the lower right corner. Also, if you are a returning subscriber, thanks very much for checking us out once again. I hope you're enjoying all the content here on the channel. But if you are, maybe you want to help us out a little bit. There are two ways that you can do that. Number one, check out my new lessons series called Learn Rock and Pop Mandolin with Mike DeJong. The link is down below. That's a lesson series of 16 videos taking you right from the beginning of mandolin playing, when you first pick up the instrument and learn how to tune it and so on, all the way through to intermediate level. It's great for beginners and intermediate players, and it's only $29.99. Makes a very good Christmas present, so check that out. The link is down below. Also, if you want to support us out on Patreon, that would really be cool. For as little as $2, you can help out this channel with a little bit of a donation. You can also take lessons with me over there once a month for a little bit more than that. Check out the Patreon link down below, as well as Amazon and Sweetwater links for the products that I use and endorse on this channel. But that's enough business for now. Let's take a look at this Bruce Springsteen classic called Santa Claus is Coming to Town right here on RPM. All right, Santa Claus is Coming to Town is pretty easy, and it's a lot of fun to play around the holiday season or any time of year if you want. And that's true of all of these Christmas songs that I put here on the channel. You know, you can play them all year long to pick up some really cool strumming techniques and some cool chord voicings. A lot of jazzy chord voicings in these songs. So if you want to learn how to play jazz, start with Christmas or holiday classics. That's a good place to begin. And that's what I did when I first started playing mandolin. All right, so the Springsteen version starts off with this 3-chord little motif, arpeggiated, like this. Right? It's played on the piano on the Springsteen version, but you can do it here. So what is that? Well, that's a C chord, an F chord, and a G chord. All right, and I'm just picking the notes individually like that. That's what arpeggiated means. Like that. All right, so I'm playing the C chord from here to start with, the 5th fret of the G string right there, 2nd fret of the D string, 3rd fret of the A, and open E. Although I'm not really playing that open E in this chord here, but I'm going... Okay, so I'm just going right up and down. So, you see what I'm doing there? Right hand just down strokes as well. 1, 2, 3. So here, 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 here. Just up and down that 3-note chord. Okay? Then you're basically doing the same thing with an F chord. All right, and again, I'm just leaving this, my 3rd finger locked down there at the 5th fret to catch that note there on the G string. Here now I'm on the 3rd fret of the D string now. I've moved up to the 3rd fret, open A, and I've got the 1st fret of the E. Okay, so this is an F chord. But once again, I'm not really playing that E string. I'm just concentrating on these 3 strings. All right, so this pattern goes same as that C chord, right? So you got the C chord, same just like that. Okay, so the pattern goes like this again, C chord, F chord, right? And the F chord is just It's just there for like one bar. The C chord is a little bit longer. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, the C chord is there for one bar, and then half a bar and half a bar. F chord and G chord there. That's a G chord now. So 2nd fret of the A, 3rd fret of the E, and I'm still arpeggiating those 3 strings right there. Okay, this string there and there, like that. So once again, C chord, F chord, G chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. So 4 beats on the C, 2 beats, and 2 beats on the F and G chords. Okay, from there we go to the verses, and at first you're just playing 2 chords. You're doing, you better watch out, you better not cry, right? You better not pout, I'm telling you why. You're just going back and forth from a C chord here, just this C voicing now. I'm not doing that one that I did earlier. I'm utilizing now the open G string. So open G, 2 and 3, and open. Okay, so you better watch out. Now F chord, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. So just 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and the strumming pattern here. So I'm hitting that first beat down and then coming back again down and then up, down. So 1, you see that? Really slowly it's... You get that? So down, down, up, down. Okay, so you better watch out, you better not cry, right? Like that. And now the Springsteen version does something a little bit different. It goes... It kind of gets really syncopated there, or a little choppy. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Right, so he's emphasizing that Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. And what I'm doing there, those are the same chords, by the way. Again, it's still, you're still on a C to an F, right? But I'm emphasizing that like that a little bit. Down beats, both down strokes. And then I'm using a little pickup note there, which sounds pretty good. I don't hear that in the Springsteen version, but I think it works nicely on the mandolin, so I'm adding in my own little touch there. You don't have to do it. You can just stay on that C chord to F, like that. What I like to do, so I'm just pulling my first finger off, like that, to give you, I guess that's a C9 voicing there. Just pulling my first finger off like that. Like that, and the same thing on the F. And now I'm pulling this finger off, this middle finger off that D string as well, and getting that open D to F. So watch what I'm doing again. And you want to stop that chord if you can when you're pausing there briefly. It's a little tricky, but you can get it. So you want to maybe bring your left-hand fingers off the fretboard just slightly to mute the notes. Okay, so let's look at the verse again. You better watch out, you better play F, you're back to C, and then to F. Now staccato, Santa Claus is coming to town. Staccato, Santa Claus is coming to town. All right, and then they go into this little pattern. Santa Claus is coming to town. All right, so what is that? Well, that is a C chord here, right? Same C that I showed you. Now to an A minor chord. Okay, so that's now the 5th fret of the G again, 2nd fret of the D again, but open A minor chord. Okay, the next chord is a D minor chord, and then to a G. All right, so go Santa Claus is coming to town. Back to C. Okay, Santa Claus is coming. D minor, 2nd fret of the G, open D, open A, 1st fret of the E string, and then to a G. Right, so 2nd fret and 3rd fret, as I showed you before. So Santa Claus is coming to town. And you could strum it like that. So Santa Claus is coming to town. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like. So chuck, chuck a chuck, chuck a chuck, chuck a chuck, like that. Santa Claus is coming to town. You better watch out. You better not cry, right? You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Here, Santa, A minor, D minor, G, C. And before the next part, I usually throw in a little C7 chord. So going from the C, just keep that finger there or keep that note there, move to a different finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and now utilize that pointy finger on the 1st fret of the A to give you a C7 chord. So watch how it goes. Santa Claus is coming to town. Okay, and that's a nice passing chord to the next part of the song. Okay, and the next part of the song goes, sees you when you're sleeping, right? He knows when you're awake. Like that. He knows if you've been bad or good. You better be good for goodness sake. So what are those chords? Well, they're really fun chords. This is a G minor chord to a C to an F. Okay, he sees you when you're sleeping. So G minor is played at the 1st fret here of the A string and 3rd fret of the E. G minor, strum all the way through. He sees you when you're sleeping. So to C again, as I showed you before. C to F, as I showed you before again. So he sees you when you're sleeping. So G minor, C to F. And then again, G minor, C to F. Now you're going to do a D7 chord with this voicing here. All right, so this is a D7 chord. That's 5th fret of the G, 4th fret of the D string, and 5th fret of the A string. Okay, that's a D7 to a G. D7 to a G. Okay, so one more time. He sees you when you're sleeping. Right, it's G minor, C to F, D7, G, D7, G, and then back to you better watch out. Right to that part again. All right, so one more time, G minor, C to F. And the strumming pattern here is you're just going. So just straight ahead, up and down strumming. He sees you when you're sleeping, like that, right? He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, right? You better be good, for goodness sake. And then back to that other part again. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why, right? And so on. Okay, now I want to show you that little melodic part that I played earlier. And again, it's based off a saxophone solo done by the late Clarence Clemens from the E Street Band. Bruce Springsteen's longtime sidekick, his longtime buddy who played the saxophone solos, great saxophone solos on a lot of Springsteen's early material. So it goes like this, and the cool thing about it is it starts off by playing the melody of Santa Claus is Coming to Town, like this. So that part is just the melody from the vocals, right? You better watch out, you better not cry, whatever. Okay, so what are those notes? And by the way, these are played over the better watch out, you better not cry. These are played over the C to F chords. C part to F. You better watch out, you better not cry, right? It's played over that, so at first. Okay, so that little melodic bit starts off with this. So you're on the D, open D. So open D, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, twice, okay? Right, so, and then you're going up to the A string. So 5 here, still on the D. So open A, 2, 3, like that. Okay, so again. So you're coming down the second time you're going. So A, open A, 5, 3, 3, 2, like that. So one more time slowly. And I do a little right at the end of that lick that takes me up to the high part. And the cool thing about that is it goes to this note here, which is an E note, 2nd fret of the D string, all the way up to the octave E for the next part. I'll show you what I mean. I'll play through it right here. You see? And I'm jumping all the way up there to the 7th fret of the A string, which is another E note now. Finally, the strumming pattern on that solo. I'm kind of using a combination of up and down strokes and then down strokes. So here, I'm using up and down strokes there, if you can see from my right hand. But then here, just to kind of emphasize that a little more on the A string, I'm just using down strokes there. So, see? And there I'm also using down strokes when I come down. And what I find is when you really want to emphasize a note a little more, a little louder than some of the other notes, hit it with a downstroke, because your downstrokes are more powerful than the upstrokes are. All right, so. So what's that? Okay, well, as I said, I jumped up from the low E to the high E, 7th fret of the A string. I'm going. So 7, 5, 3, like that. 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. So, and a Claus is coming to town. All right, so one more time. So you're going. Like that, okay? So you could add some tremolo there if you wanted. If you're really good at tremolo, you could do that, but I just like to do actually adding a little vibrato, which is a little movement of your finger here, to give it a little bit of a wavy sound there. Can you hear that? And now the next part is you're coming down. Okay, so what's that? Well, that is 7, 5, 3, open, 5. So 7, 5, 3, open, 5, open, 3, 5. So far what we have for the solo is. Okay, that's what we're at now. Finally, I do a little sort of descending run that I've come up with myself. Goes. So it goes like this. So 5, 3, open. So open, 5, 2, open. So, right? And then I go up from the 5th here on the G, open D, 2, open 5. So 2, 5 there at the end. So one more time. That's a cool little descending run in the key of C. All right, that is it, except for the final part of the song where they end. With that little jingle bell motif right at the end of the song. So what is that? Well, that's a really cool thing. After you finish Santa Claus is coming to town, end on a C, strum right through that C chord with that high E string now, and you can catch that note like this. Right? Just like that. So you're catching that E, open E, jingle bells, right? And then up to the 3rd fret of that E string. And then down to the next string, 3rd fret. So you're off that C chord. 3, 5, open. And then a C chord here to finish. What is that C chord there? Well, 5th fret now here of the G string, 5th fret of the D, 7th fret of the A, 8th fret of the E. All right? So in fact, you have played, if you've learned this song now, you will have played 3 different C chord voicings. This one at the beginning, and then during the song, this one, and then right at the end, like that. So you will have learned 3 different C chord voicings just by learning this song. So one more time, that last little bit. Santa Claus is coming to town. And they slow it down to play that at the end. All right, that is Bruce Springsteen's version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. A really fun song to play, especially that saxophone solo in the middle. I hope you enjoy playing that one. You will have lots of fun with it, I'm sure. And once again, learning 3 different types of C chords really helps to expand your fretboard knowledge. Thanks very much for watching this video and watching all of our videos here on the RPM channel. If you're new here, please hit that subscriber button on the way out. If you are a returning visitor, thanks very much for coming back, but don't hesitate to check out our new lesson series down below. Learn Rock and Pop Mandolin with Mike DeJong really helps out this channel if you purchase that, and you'd help out yourself as well if you are a beginner or an intermediate player. Some great lessons there for you to learn how to play mandolin and get going on playing mandolin. You will get going, I guarantee it, with those lessons. Also, check out our other links down below, including Patreon. Thanks very much for watching RPM. Once again, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all of you.